You are far richer than you think you are. But we've all been conditioned to measure our self-worth by what we do, by what we achieve, by what we acquire, and what we have. All of this is the product of a very limited, very ignorant society that tries to measure what is immeasurable. It's why we have sayings from the old times of, it's worth its weight in salt, for example. And if you or something was very valuable, they might even say, he's worth his weight in gold. And if you think about that for a second, what would be your worth in gold? If you're over 100 pounds, let's say, you're worth millions. Millions of dollars worth of gold in the form of your physical body. But you are not your body. Who are you truly? Because your true self, in its essence, in its spiritual form, that etheric body, that spiritual body, is immeasurable. It is infinite. It is all that is. And how do you value all that is? What price would you put on all that is? You cannot. It is of infinite value. It is priceless. So when you think about it in those terms, that your true nature is utterly, immeasurably, infinitely valuable. That you, in your most essential form, are a priceless being. And that your external experience of how rich you feel and all that you have in this world is, in fact, a reflection of how rich you believe you are, of how rich you feel, about how much self-worth you believe you have. And that's the trickiness, is because we have been conditioned to identify with the physical forms, with the physical actions, with the productivity. But productivity is a slave mentality. It is a victimized paradigm. That I am only worth as much as I can prove my worth through time and effort. But you cannot prove your worth, for your worth is already proven by the fact that you exist. The timeless, infinite, boundless nature of your being is priceless. And the way that you can quantify this or qualify this is think about the people that hold you most dearly, that love you the most. Whoever comes to mind when I say that for you right now. What is your value, the value of your life in their life? Would they even be able to put a price on it? And we think that we don't really matter all that much to people. Often, this is the case, I think. But what is the cost of your life being removed from their life? Think about that for a moment. It's so easy to overlook the value that we have to others, the worth that we are to those that love us. But what happens if we are no longer in their life? What would they be willing to give up to have you in their life? And if you can see this, your worth in their life is not measured by what you do, not measured by what you can achieve, by what you have to offer, by how productive you are. It may seem like that from time to time because we're all conditioned to think in this way. And we all have our struggles and we all have our moments of projecting and blaming and all of this egoic, self-centered kind of focus. But at the end of the day, when you face the loss of a loved one, you would never measure their worth based on what they did, what they gave you, but you would see their worth for who they are. And who they are is an immeasurable, priceless, timeless quality that cannot be replaced. It is irreplaceable. And so when you think about this in this terms, and this is just a thought experiment, I'm not trying to bolster your ego and make you feel proud in that self-centered way, but in a way of appreciating yourself so that you can recognize the infinite self-worth that is yours by birthright. Because that person or those people that came to mind for you, that love you dearly, that aside from all the challenges and the struggles and the conflicts that you may have had, they would be willing to give up a lot more than you think, I believe, to have you in their life. And again, that's not a product or the effect of what you can do, what you can prove, what you can offer, but it is a direct reflection of who you are. And even if our loved one is to become non-active, immobile, paralyzed even, but we still have them in our life, then we want to keep them. We want them to remain in our life. That's how valuable this essential quality of you really is. Because it goes deeper than the physical body. It goes much deeper than the actions that the body takes. It's even deeper than the thoughts or the conversations that you might have. But it is the most essential essence of you. It is the feeling of you. It is the reality of you. That is what is attempting to be measured, but cannot, in truth, be measured. And this is a very beautiful contemplation because what it does is that it wells up this inner infinite abundance that you can feel coursing through your veins in the recognition that the fact that you exist is the proof of your infinite self-worth, and that you were created, that you are in the way that you are for good reason, as a sort of perfect design. And in that, it's utterly unique, a one of a kind. And it's funny because those objects in the world that are a one of a kind are often the most valuable. But for some reason, we overlook that unique, authentic, original, one of a kind truth of ourself when feeling and creating our own sense of self-worth. And what if your external experience of worth and abundance and financial freedom was directly correlated to your inner sense of self-worth? Not only in a metaphysical, abstract sense, but in a very practical, direct sense. Because I'm sure you can recognize that The degree to which you see your worth and feel your worth is the degree to which you feel confident and capable. It's the degree to which you have conviction and belief and trust in yourself. And when you have those, you have the will to act. You receive the inspiration to move, to create. And in that, you have the grit and the resilience to see it through. Because you're not trying to get somewhere. You're not trying to gain anything. You know who you are. You know what you're worth. And you know what this is for. It is the expression of your unlimited, infinite abundance as your true self. And everything that you do is a reflection of that when you come into alignment with that. Everything that you create, everything that you say, everything that you demonstrate in your life, when coming from that wholeness, that completion, that abundance, births that into your reality. It manifests that in the appearances around you. And so this is not a game of acquiring and accomplishing and achieving, proving. It's a game of remembering. It's a game of reclaiming. It's a game of realizing and therefore owning the worth that is inherently yours by birthright. You came into this world as a one-of-a-kind being with gifts and talents and abilities, a unique perspective, an inherent, authentic voice. And in that, a priceless gift to the world. And if only you were to recognize that and see that not only is your physical form worth millions in its weight, but your spiritual form is of infinite value. And when you identify and align with that infinite, immeasurable spiritual worth of all that is, in your expression of all that you're inspired to create, then all that is yours comes to you effortlessly as a reflection of that which you have realized yourself to be. And when you share that freely, unconditionally, without expectation, without insistence, without this sense of needing to get or prove, without any expectation as to where it's going, that is when reality reflects your true worth. And that's when this all becomes magic. And that the gold that you truly are, as the golden form of your true self, becomes apparent.